You want to know which country to migrate to? Canada, Japan, Germany, Australia? I actually think that is the wrong question because there isn't one best country. There is only the country that is the best fit for you. And today I'm going to be giving you the exact framework on how you should evaluate each country. And by the end of this video, you are going to know how to compare countries yourself without relying on random rankings online. I'm going to give you the formula for that. So in order to get this started, we are going to be looking at one major question. And this question is, can I get in? Migration news changes almost every month. Governments are not happy, or the people are not happy. Maybe politicians are using migration as a tool to sort of rile up their base, and there's a lot of anti-migrant feelings. So it really depends on what is happening in the country at that particular period. So you always have to think about, what is the external environment looking like in that country at that time, and can you get in? So we are going to look at examples from Japan, because Japan is one of those countries that there is some sort of a need for foreign workers, but at the same time there's a lot of anti-migrant feelings that is happening in Japan recently. You do not want to visit Japanese Twitter, because that is where you are going to read all of the things about how they truly feel about migrants. Okay, then we are going to look at South Korea. South Korea is an interesting example because I'm going to tell you all why. South Korea is doing some reforms to their immigration policies that I'm like, oh, this is very interesting. So we're going to look at what is happening in South Korea, and then we are going to look at what is happening in the Netherlands. Okay, and then moving forward, we are going to answer which country actually wants you, because yes, there's a lot of noise about, oh, the immigration policy is going left, it's going right, but at the end of the day, which country actually wants you? Especially right now, there is the politics and everything that is going on, but there's also the reality of shortages that are going on in various countries. They need foreign workers, although you may see a lot of rhetoric about, we don't want these people in our country, but now when it comes to the reality of the needs that they have, which country actually wants you, are going to get into depth of that. And then we are going to look at what are the rules towards immigrants, because yes, there is the need for you to sort of go abroad, build your life abroad, but at the same time, does the environment help you succeed? What are the things that you should know in order to make it in that particular country? Because sometimes, honestly, this can be a kind of a trap that you are getting yourself into without, if you're not thinking long term. So we'll be answering the question, is this country right for me? Okay, and by the end of the video, I am going to give you all a formula. And this is a formula that you should always use to assess whatever country that you want to go to. Because at the end of the day, if all of the things that I teach you in this video, if they align, then you know that you are on your way towards making very smart migration decisions. Okay. By the way, before we go ahead, I want to tell you all about my newsletter. So in this newsletter, I am really breaking down these questions that we are trying to answer here. Which countries want you, and where should you go, and what are the skills that, where is the world moving in terms of migration, such that you can make like smart migration decisions for the sake of you and your family. Okay, so if that is something that you want to get access to, please, the link is going to be in the description box. Sign up for my newsletter. I send it out every week, and it's going to tell you a ton of information. So let us start this by looking at the first headline from Japan. And here you can see, facing labor shortage, Japan plans to invest $34 million to attract foreign workers in construction, healthcare, industry, and commerce. That already starts giving you an idea of the fields that Japan is interested. Can you get in? The question to you is, are you part of any of these fields that Japan is currently interested in? These are the things that you have to think about. But also, what it is giving you as a signal is that if there is a country that you're thinking about, Japan should obviously be one of them, because as you can see, this news was actually published on June 23rd. June 23rd is pretty recent. So if you're someone that is thinking about moving abroad, the first country that you should be looking at is, what are the moves that are happening in different countries currently? And as you can see, Japan already gives you the first signal about, okay, probably this is a place that I should consider. Can you get in? Yes, you can get in based off of those majors that they have listed. Okay, now let us go to the next one. Companies break hiring borders to recruit foreign talent. Another signal that tells you that there is a need for it. As you can see, labor shortages and global expansion drive demand, spreading to high-skilled fields like development and R&D talent. Mobility among Korea, China, Japan picks up 58% of firms employing foreigners to plan to expand hiring. So you already start thinking about, okay, because there are these movements that are happening in South Korea. Probably South Korea is a country that should be on my radar. Can I get in? There is a chance that you can get in. Now let us look at the next one. New Zealand announces major skilled migrant visa reforms from August 2026. This is us here in July, which means that if you actually plan to go to the Netherlands, you are already ahead of the curve in terms of getting the information that is needed. And when you read through this article, you see that they are making a ton of changes to really ease the life of skilled workers or people who want to work in the Netherlands. There is something that I want to flag here. They say here that by keeping the wage requirements stable across categories, the government aims to provide greater predictability. Oh my goodness, I cannot read. Predictability for applicants while continuing to attract skilled workers. Immigration New Zealand has also strengthened requirements for academic qualifications. What that tells you is that this government is signaling that they want skilled workers. They want you to come to their country, and there are ways that they are trying to make your life as easy as possible. So we get back to the first question. Can I get in? You look at what are the signals. We are getting signals from Japan. We are getting signals from South Korea. We are getting signals from the Netherlands. And what are these signals telling us? They are telling us that there is a chance. There is a chance that if you are thinking about countries making up a list, you should start here. So what does this actually mean for you? It means that you should stop asking, oh, which country is like the best country to migrate to, or which country should I migrate to? And you should start asking, which country wants someone like me? Someone like me. We are going to get into the details of all of this, but this is the first thing that you should get it out of the way, such that you have a clear idea on, okay, if these are the countries that are giving signals, then all the other countries eliminate. These are the countries that I should be focused on. And then we now go to which countries actually want you. And in this, we are really looking at things like, are they making accommodations? What are the labor shortages? Labor shortages is actually one of the most important signals that you should be looking for, because they will only want you if there is a shortage. If there isn't a shortage, there's a chance that they are not going to want you, right? Japan hires overseas bus drivers amidst labor pinch. Bus companies across Japan are hiring foreign workers to make a massive upcoming driver shortfall. One woman from Indonesia is determined to succeed. And as you can see here, this is the news article, and this is actually the news article from NHK. NHK is one of the top leading, in fact, I don't know if it's government sponsored kind of media agencies, and they are telling you here that Japan is actually hiring bus drivers. So in your little list of which country wants you, when you look at Japan, you see that yes, Japan is signaling that it needs bus drivers. So assess your skills. We now go to your skill set. Which countries are putting options for the skill sets that you have? Japan, bus drivers. Are you a bus driver? Are you a truck driver? Are you a car driver? Do you have any of those skills that Japan is looking for? Then probably you may have a chance at this. Here you have the next headline. You see, Japan relies on foreign workers to secure its transport capacity. And this is from the Straits Times, and that this is actually published June 22nd, which is actually pretty recent. So you can see that Japan is looking at people within the transport industry and thinking, oh, we do not have enough domestic workers in order to fill up this field. So because of that, we will want to hire people from abroad. So you have to think about these skill sets. Do you have it? Let us look at another reason why I think that you should evaluate your skills vis-a-vis which country wants you. Japan wants you. Facing labor shortage, Japan plans to invest $34 million to attract foreign workers in construction, healthcare, industry, and commerce. And I want us to stay on these industries such that you can start having an idea of which country wants me, question, which country needs those particular skills that you have. Are you in the construction industry? Then you start asking, oh, maybe Japan is a good idea. Are you in the healthcare industry? Maybe Japan is a good idea. Are you in the commerce industry? Maybe Japan is a good idea. We've already seen the transport industry. Maybe Japan is a good idea. So that is what you should be using to evaluate, is this country a good fit for me, or should I be considering this country? Now we are going to look at Australia. Australia is lagging 30% short on the National Housing Agreement target of 1.2 million homes by 2029, with a labor deficit largely to blame. Could changes in skilled migration get us back to track? Find out what's been proposed and the HIA's position on the reforms. Let us look at the demand and what is the challenge that Australia is facing according to them. Across nearly all sectors in the economy, Australia is experiencing a skills shortage. The housing construction industry is no exception. The industry is calling out for skilled workers to help meet the demand for homes. Under the National Housing Agreement, Australia has a target to build 1.2 million homes in 5 years by 2029. The target equates to an average of 240,000 homes per annum, and Australia has only come close to this level of home building on 2 occasions in the past. On average, Australia is lagging 30% short. So when you read this kind of an article, it starts giving you the idea. It starts giving you the idea that Australia is definitely a country that I should be considering. Why? You're not considering Australia because you are this kind of a person who is like, Australia is a good idea. No. You're making a calculated move. And of course, as you can see here, it is in the construction industry. So the question to yourself is, are you in the construction industry? If you're not in the construction industry, then probably Australia should not be the country for you. That is why I said at the beginning that it comes down to which is the country that is the best fit for you, based off of your skills, based off of the things that you can offer to the country at the time. Okay, let us look at the next one here, and we are looking at Canada. Okay, so here they have this is Canada's rural immigration pilot, the best hidden pathway to PR in 2026. We are going to do a deep dive into this article such that you can actually see the various local areas and the things that they are needing, so you can assess your skills. Is this a good place for me to migrate to? So you have which communities are participating and what jobs are the most in demand. Okay, you have Sault Ste. Marie. Okay, this is in Ontario. It is leading all the 14 RCIP communities with 200 permanent residents approved to date. Okay, then they talk about the city, and then what are the professionals that they are looking for. They are looking for people in healthcare, transportation, and hospitality. So if you want, look at that little Sault Ste. Marie. I don't even know where that is. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But as you can see, those are the things that they need. Then you come here, you look at in British Columbia, right? The priority list includes early childhood educators, auto mechanics, construction trades, and social workers. So if that is something that you do, if that is your skill set, you should be looking at British Columbia. And then you have Brandon. This is in Manitoba. What are the skills that they are looking for? They are looking for skilled manufacturing and health services. If that is your area of expertise, then you know that that is the country that you should be targeting. And then you have here Pictou County in Nova Scotia, and they are trying to address the aging workforce, so they are looking for niche manufacturing roles. All right, so you can see here foreign Hiring expands beyond factory floors to AI. Developers, 58% of firms plan more. So as you can see, South Korea, if you are someone that is in AI, if you are someone that is a developer, there is a high chance that if you are considering migrating, South Korea should definitely be on your list of potential countries, because as you can see, this is what they are signaling that they need. Now we are going to go to the third part of the video, where we are going to be talking about what are their rules towards immigrants, and is this a good fit for you? Like, should you move to this country? Because there are so many times that yes, you want to move to a country, you're interested in everything that the country has to present, but at the same time you're looking at, oh my goodness, what are their rules towards immigrants? Like, can I actually succeed in this country? And in order to do that, we are going to look at what is happening in the EU. We're going to do a deep dive of what is happening there. We are also going to do a deep dive about Japan, because yes, we have seen, oh, they need foreign workers, oh, they need people within those particular areas or skill sets, but at the same time, what is Japan doing to make your life easy? Yes, your skills may be needed, but at the same time, is this a good place for you to sort of bed your hedges to go live there, especially if you're planning to live there long term, especially if you're planning to have a family? We're going to look at what is happening in South Korea, and then we are going to look at what is Germany. So we are going to start with the EU, and we are going to look at this article that talks about hopes and fears surround implementation of the new EU migration pact. So the EU is signing this migration pact that requires some sort of a third country location for migrants seeking asylum to go and stay there while they process their documents. I know that this happens also in Australia and so many countries. They have this thing where if you're going there to apply for, let's say, some kind of a living asylum or whatever, they send you to a third country to go and wait there. And sometimes in those waiting places, you never get out of it. Everything is super expensive. People actually sort of build their lives in this third location because they wait for the main country they wanted to migrate to, and it never ever happens. So you have to think about, with all of those type of things, is actually the EU a good place for you to migrate to? Those are things that you have to evaluate and ask yourself, do I want to go there? Do I not want to go there with all of this kind of policy changes, regardless of even if they need your skill set? Okay, now let us look at the next one here, and this is Japan. The headline we have here is Japan implements language proficiency requirements for certain visa applicants. And when we looked at that article where they were talking about the need for transportation drivers and the need for those within the transportation field, what you were seeing in that article is, if you look at the video, the picture, I'm going to put the picture on the screen one more time. If you look at that picture, what you're seeing is a Japanese older person is teaching these people how to drive. They are obviously speaking in Japanese. So probably the first thing that you will have to do is learn Japanese. Then you can start asking yourself, is this something that I want to do? Or is this because of that, will I discount Japan? Do I not want to move to Japan because of that? But that is a decision that you have to make, and that is something that you have to think about, because it is the reality of the particular country that you are planning to move to. We look at this other article here that also says Japanese proficiency essential for foreign graduates staying on to work. And it is not just foreign graduates, it is all of the job categories that people are actually hiring for. You have to think about that. What are the prospects of you being able to learn Japanese? Okay, now we are going to look a bit at South Korea, and the reason why this South Korea article was very, very interesting to me, because I did not know that people could sort of get PR in South Korea in the space of 3 years. And I'm reading through this article, and I'm like, wow, this is something that is very, very interesting. So as you can see here, South Korea streamlines permanent residency in 3 years for skilled professionals. Mind-blowing. 3 years for skilled professionals. Let us look at the article. It says here, South Korea streamlines permanent residency in 3 years for skilled professionals. South Korea has announced a major expansion of its top-tier program, extending eligibility to professors, researchers, science and technology experts from around the world. The move is aimed at attracting high-skilled talent to support the country's innovation and research ecosystem. So here you have, this is like some kind of a visual category of it, South Korea's fast track permanent residency. But here we are discussing long-term plans, and does the country want you? What are the things that the country is sort of providing to make your life in that place easier, right? And if South Korea is actually giving you a chance to live there long term and get permanent residency in 3 years, in Japan, you will live in Japan for 10 years, and just trying to apply for permanent residency, you may not even qualify for it. So when you compare that, then you can start telling you, okay, long term, do I have the skills they need? And then secondly, you are asking, long term, is this a place that I should be able to live there with my family? Can my family move with me? As you can see, can I get permanent residency, as South Korea is offering? Even family benefits are available also in that Korea program. So that now starts telling you, probably South Korea is not a very shabby idea. I actually would like to move and live there. Okay, so now let us wrap up with a formula, and this formula is the formula that is going to help you think about which countries should you choose when you want to migrate to. It is actually a pretty interesting formula. The first is, which country wants the skills I have? That is the research that you should do. And as you can see in these videos, I already show you, for example, samples of countries and the skills that they are looking for. Then you add that plus, what are their rules and regulations towards migrants? So you have this plus this. What are their rules and regulations towards migrants? We saw in the Canada article that there is actually a process where they speed up permanent residency if those in those local areas actually recommend you for that. That is amazing. So that already starts giving you what are the rules towards immigrants, and then plus, is it a good fit for me? If you're able to answer, the formula is, which country wants the skills I have? Answer that. What are their rules towards immigrants? You answer that. And then, is it a good fit for me? If you're able to answer these three questions, it tells you the countries that you should choose. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope that this was helpful. If it was, please do well to like the video, save the video, share the video, share it with a friend, a brother, a sister, an auntie, an uncle. I'm going to see you all in the next one. Cheers.